I'm not a writer.
Okay.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. If I find my way home, yeah. If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me. If I find my way home, yeah.
This is the move. For those who
1, 2, here, let's go back.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
But I promise you, baby,
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha, and I am still trying to get over this cold, but I am feeling a little bit better. So, it's a plus, right? That's a plus. So, let's see. I think Ruslan was the only one to get the shirt right tonight. So, good job, man. Yeah, good job. Excuse me. And as I think all of you probably have noticed, or thankfully haven't noticed, there's no buffering tonight. Woo! Anyway, so some of you might have caught the impromptu stream yesterday. As myself and an amazing young lady named Kelly from Restream were troubleshooting my issues, and we got it fixed, it looks like. Everything looks green on YouTube, which is a huge change from what it was. I looked at Facebook, that wasn't doing anything bad. Looked at Twitch, same thing, no buffering. So I doubt Kelly's watching, but Kelly, if you are, you're amazing. Thank you very much. Yeah, simple as that. Simple as that. So here we are, guys. We're back on all three platforms, getting it done. We're going to do some pretty cool, interesting stuff tonight. So, man, it's been an interesting week, hasn't it? To say the least. All these problems with the stream and everything, and all sorts of weird shit going on. Thank you, Joel True Gumpla, for the lead-in. I appreciate that. I was watching his stream, as probably a lot of you were. Entertaining, to say the least. But, man, yeah, thank you for the lead-in. Welcome, everybody. I know a bunch of you have come over from that. I saw a few names pop in and all that good stuff. So yeah, so it was fun. Let's see. Oh, real quick, programming notes. Mechanism is tomorrow. We're gonna have some really cool people on there. And then next Thursday, myself and George, Mr. Old School Gumpla, we're going to be doing a live stream over there on Instagram. We're going to be having some cool conversations and stuff. Love George, love what he does. I think that George has definitely kind of established himself as, for lack of a better term, a thought leader kind of in our hobby. I think that it'll be a lot of fun. So please join us next Thursday. Obviously not this Thursday, because you're here with me, right? Next Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So same time that you tune in here, right? And but it's going to be on Instagram. So come on out and watch us have probably a pretty damn cool conversation. Yeah, there he is. What's up, George? Excited, man. Thanks. Dude, no, thank you. It's awesome. Ruslan wants to know, when is the next Gumpla talk? It's a great question. We have not talked about it. It's going to be in April, obviously. The last episode that we did was earlier this month with Tex Marquise, Miss Armida, so it was we usually have it later in the month, but this time we had it early in the month just to accommodate schedules and stuff like that. Excuse me. And so we're probably going to go back to later in the month, in April. So, but good question, very good question. Let's see. So tonight, we're going to continue doing a little scribing. James Cody, wish Gumpla Talk was more regular. Dude, it's tough when you have 5 guys from all over the world trying to, get schedules together. It's really tough. And especially, since all of us are very, very busy too, it's very tough. Once a month is tough. But, we love doing it. The five of us are kind of like brothers at that point. Shit, we've been doing this for what, 4 or so years? Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Look at that. Cool. Okay, so Chart Twins over on YouTube says, I used your tips on when I got burnout on a custom GM build. It's starting to come together now. Nice. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And GamerBud wants to know how the Broken piece turned out. I'll show you in a minute there, and I will reveal to you which piece it was. If you guys missed that on the social medias, I asked, can you tell which one it was? There were about even responses for both sides, so half of you guys were wrong. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I didn't want people to tell easily that it, was one side over the other. Come on now. It's not the point. It's not the point. Chris Pabs is over there on Facebook, and I saw Donnie, and I saw Crow, and Chris. I think Chris Pabs is going to be on with us on Mechanism. He's one of our new rookies. We invited a few more people, so you might see some interesting new faces tomorrow night. That's all I'm going to say. But Chris Pabs hopefully will be able to make it tomorrow night. So, yeah, good times. Good times, man. Kurt Hill says, great show, Gumba Talk. Been watching from like episode 4 or 5, I think. Always great to have on while building. Yeah, you know what? And that's the thing. That's kind of, the trend of things, right? If you can't watch it live, which it is interesting to watch live, because just like here, you can interact with us and all that. It's good to have in the background, just kind of listening and stuff like that. We have a good time. So, yeah. All right. So, without any further ado, let's jump over to this. Let's get this work done. All right. Excuse me. Zashin Sayed is over there on Facebook as well. He says, woo, Chris Pabs is my hero. Look at that, Chris. I know you guys are friends and all, but I'm just saying, that's still kind of funny. Still kind of funny. He's my hero, too. All right. So, let's see. Ooh, look at that. Superset 5. My Perfect Grade Mark II from USA Gundam Store came in the mail today. Not sure what to work on now. My Perfect Grade Unicorn Bust or the Mark II. That's a conundrum, right? Oh, shit. You know what? Speaking of USA Gundam Store, let's rewind this a little bit. I forgot the business. If you want one of these cool-ass Titans Test Team shirts, excuse me, go hit up ShadowMecha.com, hit the store button up at the top. You'll find shirts and hats and bags and all sorts of cool stuff on there. If you see any of the tools or accessories or materials or things like that that we work on here tonight, right down there in the description on YouTube and Twitch, over on that side if you're watching on Facebook. And as always, if you need kits, I got them. I finally got them. If you need kits, boom. My good friends over at USA Gundam Store, we are partnered on this particular GBWC build, as we are also partnered on these cool-ass decals that we're making. These awesome, high-quality water slide decals that we're bringing to you guys. Talked about that last Friday. I won't spend too much time on it, but it's going to be kind of in the same aesthetic genre, if you will, as Haikyuu decals, but all new designs. And they'll be printed by Cartograph in Italy, who is the production company that does make Haiku decals. So you can expect the same level of quality as Haiku. That's amazing, right? I love Haiku decals. You guys know I love Haiku decals, so I think I'm going to love our decals even more. You'll get them soon. We're nailing down the details and everything still with Cartograph, but we're kind of in the final stages of all of that. Expect those probably in the next few months. So keep patient. They're coming. They're coming. All right, so back to camera 2, and then let's talk about these legs here, these back of the legs, right? Now I haven't moved these, so these are still in the same orientation as before. Let's get you zoomed in so you can see what we're doing here. So, which is the one that was broken? That was the question that was posed in the social media posts earlier this morning. And like I said, a lot of people said one or the other. It was about 50-50, right? So, the answer? Silas Mark II. Thank you very much for the follow over there on Twitch. This is the one. The left one. Yeah. This is the one that broke, the left one. And as you can see, the fit is rather nice. I think it still needs a little bit of fine-tuning. There's still a hairline gap in there, but shit, there's a hairline gap on the other one too, so I don't know. I don't mind the hairline gap. I mean, it looks like a panel line, right? I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. All right, so let's take a look. This is the one that broke right here, the one with the scribing already on the side, and I'm not gonna ham-hand it and take it off like like we did last time. I learned my lesson the hard way, you guys. So we're going to just finesse it off of there. But see, there you go. Whoop, now I just dropped the damn thing. But see, there we go. You know, we did the reinforcement and everything like that. These little 1/4 millimeter thick. Ricardo, thank you very much for the follow as well, buddy. Yeah, so these reinforcement strips worked wonders. So if you broke a part, you know, accidentally like I did, it happens to the best of us, right? If you broke a part, man, these reinforcement strips, just kind of gluing these down in place, adds so much strength back to the part. Now, mind you, it's not going to be as strong as the original part, right? But it's still pretty damn sturdy. And I mean, you can't tell. Thankfully, it broke, you know, along the panel line, but it glued up perfectly, and yeah, it fits. It fits really quite nicely now. So, yeah. Kurt Hill says you can't tell. No, I know, and that's the point, Kurt. That's the point, brother. So yeah, so good news for that, right? Good news for that, because like when that happened, I wasn't feeling good either. When that happened, oh, I was so bummed. I didn't want to like show it to you guys, obviously, but I was just like, oh shit, like this sucks, right? And the weird thing, this is something that a lot of people had said on stream, and I think Bailey just mentioned it. You have spares. So the normal Zaku back of the leg is actually different than the high mobility, and I'll show you why. Right? So the high mobility here has this exposed kind of area here, The regular one does not. Yeah, the regular one doesn't have that. And it's attached to the back of the leg a little bit differently too. So if so there's the inside of the normal Zaku 2 back leg, right? Check this out. Completely different, you guys. Completely different, right? The normal Zaku 2 leg has this kind of bar tab right here, and it has these two side tabs that actually come up a lot farther than these two. These two are just on the back, right? So this spare one, there's no, it's not gonna work, right? So yeah, I lucked out. Let's put it that way. I lucked out big time with being able to fix this. So yeah. And, you know, when it broke, I'm like, okay, you know what? I have spares too. All good. No problem. But when I went back and looked at it afterwards, I was like, oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. So, yeah. Good thing I was able to fix it. Let's put it that way. Right? Good thing I was able to fix it. Andrew Young, it does look different. It looks stubbier. Yeah, I mean, it's the same height. It's just designed differently, right? It happens, right? It happens. Silas Mark 2 over there on Twitch. Oh, wow, I built like 4 2.0 Zakus and never noticed that. Yeah, dude, you know what? If I hadn't have broken that part, I probably wouldn't have noticed it either. Yeah. I was about to just say, screw that, rescribe another one, call it a day, right? Because it would have been easier. It would have been a lot easier. But thankfully, you know, thankfully to good old, you know, Tamiya extra thin and some 1/4 millimeter reinforcement strips, man, it worked. Thankfully, it worked. So there's your answer, guys. Left leg. Handren is over there on Facebook. He says, shit happens. Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. Shit does happen, man. And it happens to the best of us. And it usually happens, it usually happens in droves. So like I was sick, the stream wasn't going very well, you know, there was other shit going on kind of outside of the hobby world, you know, more work stuff. But man, I'm going to tell you what, it worked. So, good question from Andrew. Andrew over there on YouTube wants to know, why didn't we use Plastic Magic? Because you guys know I absolutely love this shit. This is the best. Now, the one thing that you have to keep in mind about Plastic Magic is that it's not as hot, meaning it's not as high a solvent percentage as, say, your Tamiya Extra Thin, and it dries much quicker. So for that particular operation, for lack of a better term, I wanted it to be a slower cure and more of kind of a melt. So for this particular process, the good old Tamiya Extra Thin was the way to go. Yeah. Now, mind you, Plastic Magic is a solvent-based glue, and it will have that melting action, but I wanted it to truly, I wanted those pieces to truly integrate that melted plastic to where it cured, when it cured, it would be one solid piece, right? Mind you, again, still not as strong as the original piece, but pretty damn good. So, on this one-off instance, Tamiya Extra Thin was the way to go. on all the other instances, though, I'm sticking with my boy Plastic Magic. That's just me, right? That's just me. That's the best stuff on earth. Excuse me, you guys. Still getting over this thing. Still getting over it. Anyway, Superset5 over there on Twitch, he says, I know you like to use 144 scale decals and 1/100 kits for detail and such. Does the same apply for 1/100 scale to 1/60th scale kits? Potentially, yes. That's another good question. You know, I find that the smaller size decals on kits just looks better and it gives you a better sense of illusion. So, yeah. I think it probably will. Try it out. That's what I would say. Let's see. Rushlam over there on YouTube says, only thing that stuck out to me was a super tiny portion of the scribe at the top has no backside. You can see it isn't white. No one can tell without serious magnification. I think I know what you were talking about. And yeah, so... And that kind of got me a little bit too, like when people had mentioned that they could see a hairline fracture and this, that, and the third. Let's show you kind of what people were talking about. So this little part right there, I think is what people were talking about, but I just don't think a lot of dust is in there. Yeah, so you can see the scribe there is nice and deep. So, yeah, I think that was just one of those things, you know, one of those things. Kind of threw people off. Oh man, Joel is with us. True Gumpla over there on good old YouTubes, man. Joel, thank you for the lead-in, buddy. Appreciate that. Yeah, motherfuckers. Love it. Love it. Yeah, Andrew Young says that plastic dust just came off. That's it. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Can clean out. Andrew Young. AO. Right? AO. AO. Cheers to Joel, man. Cheers to Joel. Man, Chris Pabs is getting more love in my private messages here. He is. Whew. Chris Pabs is getting the love, and he should. He deserves the love, man. He deserves the love. He's a good dude. Links53, very talented artist who has done all of my little chibi guys. He's over there on Twitch. Go give him a hookup. Get you a chibi done, man. So worth it. He says, wish they'd make smaller than 144 decals. Would be so handy on SD builds. Interesting. Definitely very, very interesting. So, yeah. We might have to see about that. We might have to see about that, man. Yeah, Chris, I'll tell you later. Yeah, I just got messaged from Ross saying just kind of giving compliments and stuff. So, yeah, man, you're getting love from everywhere, brother. You're getting that love from everybody. 100. Freddie says 100 scale decals are great for SDs. What? Okay. All right. Converge water slides, Julio Ponte. Nice. That would be interesting, though. I don't know. I mean, how many of you guys customize your Converge little guys? I've always thought about. Doing like resin casting the Converge kits and then, you know, kind of painting them and customizing them in that sort of way, right? So, yeah. Travis Gopal, not Gumpler related. He's over there on Facebook, by the way. He says, not Gumpler related, but dude, thanks for the Love, Death, and Robots recommendation. That shit was awesome. Dude, it fucking was. It's amazing. If you guys haven't watched that, definitely go do yourself a favor. Set aside maybe a 2-hour block of your time. Because once you start watching the Love, Death, and Robots, you're not going to want to stop. You're not going to want to stop. Zima Blue, Freddy, yes. Zima Blue was cool. Me personally, I liked the first one, Sunny's Edge, yeah. Sunny's Edge, and then the second one about the 3 robots. That shit just cracked me up. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Just like the one with the Siri voice, the triangular robot. Holy shit, I died. I shit my pants. There's no, when that robot's talking like, oh my god, girl, you look so good. Go team, go. Like in that Siri voice, I was done. I was done. Just cancel Christmas. I'm done. Links53 sounds like it's a tiny converge hummingbird time, dude. I've always wanted to do an SD hummingbird in that same style as my hummingbird, right? I've always wanted to do that. I just never had the time or inclination to do it, right? Who on, I can't remember, who on Instagram is doing that? I think it's Gundam Mamamoo is doing that on Instagram. He's doing a SD hummingbird, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So, yes, Andrew, Gundam Mamu. I am absolutely hooked on it. Like, I want more. I want to see more, right? So, yeah, he's doing a great job on it, man. He's doing a great job on it. Handren says, do it, right? Excuse me. Oh, hey, God, I keep forgetting all the cool shit to tell you guys. So let's go back to one camera for this. Just real quick, we're going to get back to work. Don't worry about it. Good goddamn thing Dean's not here. He would be cracking that fucking whip on us like nobody's business. But since he's not here, we'll talk. Chris R., the fact that he commented right now, reminded me that I am going to be a guest at SabotenCon out in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, at, I believe it's the end of August, beginning of September. So that's fucking awesome, right? So, if you're in around the Phoenix area, come on out. A bunch of those guys, those Gundam guys are going to be there as well. Freddie, are you going? I hope so. But yeah, a bunch of those Gundam guys are going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's official. It's locked in. We are good to go. I couldn't be more excited about this. This is cool. For those of you guys that don't know, Saboten or SaboCon, or I'm not sure of the shortened name that everybody calls it. Yeah, so basically, they contacted me. I think Chris R. kind of had a big part to play in that. So, Chris, thank you, brother. So yeah, so they're gonna have me out, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be cool. So I think we're maybe gonna do some programming there. I don't know yet. Hopefully we can do like a mini class or something like that. I don't know. Maybe TGG, wants to do something, and I'll just kind of be a hanger-oner. I'm happy with that too, man. Whatever works. Whatever works. I'm down for pretty much whatever at SaboCon, since they're nice enough to bring me out and, host me and all that you know, really cool shit, right? I mean, I'm just like, I'm super flattered by it, right? But Chris, what is the exact dates of that? Because I know a couple folks in the good old chat, Gary's over there on Twitch, he asked, what are the dates of that exactly? What are the exact dates? Hook it up, Chris. Hook it up. Or Freddie. Whoever. Because obviously I can't look because I'm busy right now. You know. So Chris R says, bring the hummingbird. Man, the hummingbird is retired. The hummingbird has had its wings clipped. It is not flying anymore. It is staying in the cabinet. I hate going anywhere with that thing. But airdrop would definitely be a prime candidate to come out. Okay, Chris, thank you very much. Okay, so August, the dates for SaboCon, I think, is, I guess, the shortened name that people call it. August 30th to September 2nd. August 30th to September 2nd. If you guys are not busy, come out, man. It's going to be cool. We're going to make a weekend out of it, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to party and all that. It's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be great. So, yeah, I'll bring airdrop. I'll maybe pack up something else in another big Pelican case and bring that out too. You know, you get, you know, free check bags on Southwest, so hey, right? So, yeah, see there, Gary's over there on Twitch. He wants to carpool out there from Cali. So, man, come on now. Come on out. Come on out. Joel wants to know if there is going to be a Beyblade arena for the big boys. I don't know. I can check. Let it rip, right? Let it rip. Yeah, and Andrew says MosquitoCon is soon. Dude, I wish I could go to MosquitoCon. That's the day I leave for my vacation. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm going to Disney World with my family. Come on. It's more important, right? It's more important. Anyway, so yeah, so come on out to SaboCon or SaboTenCon or whatever the shortened name is, right? August 30th, September 2nd. Come on out. Be part of it. Mecha Army fucking represent. Come on now. Y'all can do it. Let's go. Let's have some fun, right? Come on out. Anyway, but I digress. So anyway, boom, two camera. Okay, so this is almost done. These two are almost duplicated, right? I got the these lines duplicated, done. You guys can't see it on here, but I kind of fucked up on this one a little bit, right? And I scribed a wrong line. Now, what you're seeing with the dust in there, those are the right lines. But y'all can't see the messed up lines, can you? And I scribed them deep too, man. So let's get zoomed in here real quick, and I'll show you kind of what I did to fill those errors, right? Let's go super zoom. Oh, and you can hardly even see it on super zoom. It's filled in so good. Man. Look at this. Okay, so real quick, you guys. What I did was I accidentally scribed this line all the way around, and you can kind of see it there. You can kind of see it right there. And let's see. It goes all the way around to there, right? So, obviously, there's no dust catching in there, so it's completely smooth, right? How did you fill it in? Real easy. Let's get out of super zoom so I can actually show you what we use, right? Boom. Oh, no, get off there. Shit. Okay, there we go. Now we're in business. Now we're in business. Okay, so. My favorite. Loctite Ultra Liquid Control. Loctite. Call me. Anyway, this shit is the best, you guys. If you guys have not seen me use that, that is the absolute best for cleaning up mistakes with scribing, cleaning and filling gaps. Excuse me. What else? Filling pre-molded things. Like, for instance, this guy right here. So this is the front shin armor, right? And he's got these three weird, stupid, circular indents right here, right? It's just dumb to me. So I'm filling those, and this is basically 2 rounds of the Loctite right here, right? Now, also, too, and I don't know why Bandai does this, maybe just to add detail, but it's kind of dumb to me. They had pre-molded little, it'd be good if it was on camera, little pre-molded circular details here, here, and here, and also on the top corner of this side. Those are all filled in with just a drop of super glue. Real simple. You let it sit for a few hours to let that cure completely through, and then it's basically the same density as Bandai plastic. I did the same process on the Jesta's kind of main visor, because you guys know it has those 3 weird circular indents on each side. Filled those in with Loctite, sanded them down perfectly smooth. You never tell the difference. That's the key. You never tell the difference. Also, the cool thing is that you can scribe through this thing like it's nothing, just like Bandai plastic. On the front skirts of the Jest, I filled those kind of pre-molded notches that they have on there. I filled those in, scribed right through them. Now, mind you, these little indents were super small, like maybe 2 millimeters wide, or in length, but maybe only a ½ millimeter wide. And you could scribe right through them, cut them right in half. One of them, there was a kind of a 3-pointed scribe in there. And I'll tell you what, man, it scribed beautifully. Yeah, man, it works tremendously well. Corey from SaboCon is actually messaging me right now. He says, Tim, what city are you in? I fly out of Baltimore, dude, if you're watching. But if you're not watching, then I'll reply to you after the stream. But I think he's watching. Hopefully he's watching. What's up, Corey, if you're watching? Anyway, what's the chat talking about? Handren Nadir, yes, Handren, better, he asked, better than Gorilla Glue. Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I had a bottle of Gorilla Glue, and yeah, I like Loctite better for the purposes that I use it for in terms of modeling. Now, what's the nearest? BWI, Corey. He's watching. BWI is my home airport. Yeah, I'm on the northeast side of Baltimore, so yeah, BWI is definitely the one for me. So Southwest is definitely the way to go, dude, because it's inexpensive. You can go one way, which is even cheaper. Yeah, bags fly for free, so that's a plus. Southwest. Anyway, let's see. So yeah, Handren, definitely for the purposes of filling and all of that, I do absolutely prefer Loctite Ultra Liquid Control much better than Gorilla Super Glue. The Gorilla Super Glue has a kind of rubberized additive, I guess, to make it a little bit more flexible. So when you have kind of very thin kind of butt joints like this that just kind of come together like this, so it is more resilient in terms of that, and it won't snap as easily. The Loctite is a little bit more brittle than that, but for the purposes that we're using it for, it's inconsequential. It doesn't even make a difference at that point. It's actually probably better because it's more solid and the density is closer to the Bandai plastic, so it does make it easier to scribe. It makes it easier to sand. It makes it easier to carve if you need to with a hobby knife. So yes, I do find Ultra Liquid Control, the Loctite stuff, so much better in terms of hobby uses. So now you know. Let's see. Ooh, hey, we're getting likes and follows from everywhere. Oh shit. Fetlada, and I just missed it. But thank you for the subscribe. I appreciate it. Welcome to the army. Thank you for watching. And I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I don't mean to. It's just I don't pronounce things very well. So anyway. Whew. Zeshan over there on Facebook, he says, best oysters I've ever had are in Baltimore. Lobo's $1. You call it on Tuesdays. Nice. I'm not an oyster guy. I'm a crab guy. I like the blue crabs that you get here in Maryland. So if you guys are ever in town, hit me up. I'll show you how to pick some crabs. Good eating too. But it is a kind of a many hour experience, right? So keep that in mind. Anyway, James Denise, no Zaku boy. He's over there on Facebook because he's Team Facebook. He says, I still need to try that shit. Dude, come on, man. You got to get with the Loctite stuff, dude. It is so good. It is so good, and it has kind of changed the way that I build, I should say. It's just really good shit for hobbies. It is. It really is. So there we go. All right. Anyway, so we're going to clean this up a little bit here because, like I said, this is 2 rounds. This is completely cured through. The first round took probably about 90% of the fill, and then the second round was just kind of to fill in little spots and stuff. There was an air bubble in one, so had to fill that as well. So yeah, this is looking really good. So to clean this up, and it's just a little raised off of the surface, not a whole lot, right? Donnie Baxter, he says, I've converted, it's great. See? Yes. And Donnie's doing big shit right now with those splash paints over there on Instagram. Go follow his Instagram account, Art Inc. by DB. Super good shit. Donnie says, no more BS to Mia Magic shrinking putty. Yeah, dude, he's talking about that white shit. And I have some, but it's over there in the abyss of my little shelves over here, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Anyway, James says, yeah, I've been trying that Black Madworks super glue. It's great as well. Yeah, I mean, if it works, don't fix it if it's not broken, right? So anyway, simple needle file. We're gonna just go across here, and we're just gonna take down the high points of this. Now, yes, I know people are probably going to scream about my filing technique and that, you should only do it in one direction, Tim. But you know what? I'm a godless heathen, and I don't care about that. So, I'm going in both directions. Fight me. And that gets us about 90% of the way. So, we're looking good. Now we'll go at this with a little bit of sandpaper, and we'll take down the last kind of 10% of these raised bits. And the plastic dust will obviously tell you a lot it will tell you where the high points are, where that dust is catching. That's going to be kind of, you know, where your high points are, or your low points too. Keep that in mind. So if you see plastic dust catching in something, shit, we got more. CM Ben, what's up? Thank you. Welcome to the Mecha Army. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching, man. Awesome. And finally, a username that I pronounced correctly. Hopefully, right? Anyway, excuse me. Kurt Hill says, find the Mecha Army hashtag. It's oh, I lost it. It's great for finding people in the chat on Instagram. Yes, yes it is. Yes it is. So if you're not using it, man, consider it. Yeah. Metal Slug 147, by the way, Tim, have you ever gave us a tour of your workspace? Kind of curious on how your setup is. Yes, we did. What stream was it? I think it was the first one of this year. I think we did it on that one. I basically took the camera here and just kind of did a quick pan around. So check the first stream of this year, the first stream of 2019. I think that was January 2nd. I think. Anyway. So, Chris Pabs, helps control how much material you take away. Oh, he's talking about the filing. But if you're light-handed, it shouldn't matter. Donnie says, yeah, what James said. James is like, I've been doing it wrong my entire life. No, dude, if you're like me and you just kind of go back and forth, no, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. Oh man. Oh, CM Ben is Corey. Sweet. What's up, dude? Thank you for the follow, brother. Appreciate that. I don't know. I can't tell from usernames, man. If everybody just used their real name, everything would be so much simpler, right? Just saying. I'm just saying. But I'm not going to hold it against anybody. Let's see. Oh, James says, what? Who says to only file in one direction? Yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of people do that. Like, I see people, like, on, like, not even in, like, modeling videos, like, you know, people doing, like, woodworking and jewelry making and stuff like that. I have eccentric tastes. Don't hate. Doing kind of just, you know, whoop, pick it up, whoop, pick it up, and then just do it that way. Just one direction filing. I'm like, fuck y'all. I'm gonna do it my way. Captain Weirdbeard. He says, hashtag file your way. Damn right, son. Damn right. Okay, so we've got this pretty much sanded down. This is nice and flush. There's a couple still problem areas, and I know it's a little tough to see on the screen, right? So we've got a little bit of a problem area right here. We've got a little teeny tiny one up here. But this middle one, that middle one's good to go. Completely filled, 100% level with the rest of it. You will never tell that was filled in once you get primer down on this thing. You will never tell, right? So, real simple. We're going to go round 3 with this thing. And we're just going to... Oop, did that... Yep. Donnie knows what I'm experiencing right here. The whole... Okay, so if you guys aren't following Donnie, Art Inc. by DB, I saw his in one of his Instagram stories today, and he had the Loctite on there, and the whole damn thing was fused. He had to take this whole white tip assembly off. He had to unscrew the whole thing. Like, thankfully, I've not had to do that, but... Holy shit, man. That's crazy, dude. But, yeah, I mean, as you can see, you get a little bit of, a little bit of stuff there, you know? So, and there we go. You know, just a couple drops there. You set this off to the side. come back at it in maybe an hour or two, check it. Now, if you have like a big drop... What's going on with the camera there? Hello. There she goes. Thank you, camera. But if you have like a big, if you have a big drop of super glue, it may be a little squishy after a few hours. Leave it be. It'll cure. You'll be fine. Come back at it, and you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go. Anyway. Nice. Man, I love you guys, man. You guys are lively tonight. I love it. Oh, and shit, Chris R. Damn it, I am sorry, man, because you reminded me, and he says, you never answered my question. Dude, I am sorry. Let me scroll the hell back up here and find your question after like 100 frickin' comments, right? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Chris, Arizona Gumball Builder over there on Instagram is building this cool Dom Tropin right now, and he's customizing this thing, and he's doing a great job. But he says, I have some bigger gaps on the Dom Tropin on the back waist area where the machine gun and Sturmfaust mount up. What's the best way to fill that? Great question, right? So, it depends. It depends, right? So my favorite, and I think you guys know this about me. My favorite epoxy putty is this stuff right here. This is the Tamiya Quick Type epoxy putty, and as you can see, this stuff is amazing. It's great for reshaping parts. It's great for filling in voids like the ankle part here on the Sinanju Stein that we're going to use on this thing. It does not shrink in any way, shape, or form, and it sands beautifully. I mean, you can honestly get just a super smooth shine on this thing, and if you wanted to take it down to almost a mirror shine, you probably could with a little bit of determination and hard work. But for big gaps, this stuff here. For smaller gaps, this stuff here. Those are my two go-tos. And honestly, until something better comes along, which I don't think that it will, I'm on that train for life. Yeah. So anyway, whew. Lots of talking tonight. Lots of answering questions. But I like answering questions, you guys. Do not stop them from coming in. So let's get back up in the chat. Let's see here. Excuse me. Chris Pab says it was a Majin tip ages ago. Yeah, so the filing in one direction, right? We're still on that, right? Actually, I think it was probably before that. Because I've seen, like, even back, like old, like, model kind of little movie reels from like the 60s and stuff, like the British modeling reels from back then. You would see guys just kind of just doing the filing one way, and I don't know why. I don't get it, because these files have they go in both directions. I don't get it, but whatever. Anyway, file the way you want, right? File the way you want. Anyway, let's see here. Donnie says those people must hate Dremels. Yeah, dude, unless you get a two-way cutter bit on your Dremels like I do. Dude, I love these things. These are double bidirectional tooth. Oh, they're great. And if you put them into your little pin vise like this, man, you can get super precise kind of grinding, sanding, shaping, all that, right? It's good stuff. Anyway, let's see, Hendron over there, Saki art. To me, if you have to take a chunk off, then going both directions is no problem. Yeah. Chris Pab says, it also helps with all the dust. It'll just accumulate in one spot. That's fair. Metal Slug 147 was said that it was to lessen the file to junked up with residue. Okay. Yeah, but I clean my file like pretty regularly anyway, so I'm not really concerned about that. Chartwin, steel and other metals, it matters. Plastic, it shouldn't. That's fair, right? Because I don't file any metal. Captain Weirdbeard, someone said the teeth on files only point one direction. I don't know how true that is. I think some do. That is actually a good point. Some do. But on, things like this, where it's kind of hashed back and forth, that will give you a tooth in both directions. Now on the flip side here, oh no, that's doubled up as well. But on some of it where it's only one directional tooth, yeah, that's pretty accurate. Now on these needle files, no, I get shaping in both ways, in both directions. So, yeah. Anyway. Let's see. James says, I use the ceramic scraper for small amounts to be removed. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing, but with my hobby knife. Yeah. Chris Pabs agrees with that. Scrapers are magic. CM Ben, get the likes up, everybody. It's free. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate that, buddy. Let's see. Chris Pab says, don't tell Donnie Baxter I said this, but honestly, one of the most inspiring builders I follow on Instagram. Aw, you guys. Now kiss. No. Let's see. Baking soda and super glue, Rushlem says, for filling. Yeah, you know what? I will sometimes do baby powder and super glue. Yeah, I'll sometimes do that. I don't like to do that a lot, but if it's like a much bigger gap that needs, I guess, a little bit more of a viscous mix, something to where the epoxy putty is just not going to work, and I don't find that a lot, then sometimes I'll pull out the baby powder and mix it with a little super glue, and that usually works too. So that is an option. That is definitely an option. Let's see, Chris Pabs, just beautiful stuff to work with. Just be ready for a lot of dust. Wear a respirator. Absolutely, that stuff is super fine, and if you get it in your lungs, it's not a good time. It's just not. Let's see, what else here? James Gundam Taz is over there on Facebook. He says, James! Let's see. Rushdam says it was to reduce the plastic curling on edges. Plastic has come. Evil Homer NZ, what's up? Thank you for the subscribe. He's in the chat. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Mecha Army. Thank you for watching as always. I know you've been here a couple times, so thank you for the subscribe. Appreciate that, buddy. Let's see. Cyril Hottie, how to get notches at the same length? Great question. We'll cover that here in a few minutes, because I wanted to start notching the back of the leg here, just kind of real quick, just to mess around with that a little bit. But first, we're just kind of going through some comments real quick. So we'll get to that here in a second, Cyril. Forgotten String Z, what's the best aftermarket set to add a joint? Probably your good old Kotobukiya plastic joints. They sell them in ABS. I think those are probably going to be your best bet. Or just scratch build it. Kotobukiya also has little miniature hinges, and here's one of them right here. And this is actually one of the larger ones on the runner that I got from Hobby Search, and you can actually get them a lot smaller than that. So that's another option if you need that. So good question. Jeff Edge, Wave has files that are only meant to work in one direction. Yeah, they're definitely out there. Julio Ponte, Donnie is so talented too. Look at that, Donnie. You're getting compliments. That's so cute. Donnie is awesome, though. But Evil Homer NZ commented, while we're discussing files being omnidirectional, any tips from the pro on how to keep something straight or level while filing something? Yeah, man, it's a great question because especially if you're on a very thin surface like one of these kind of, you know, beveled surfaces here, that is tough. So one of the things that I happen to do is hold it at a diagonal, so it's actually touching more surface area that way. Because if you've got it kind of perpendicular to the piece, there's going to be that wobbling motion. But if you have it kind of at a diagonal, there's a little bit of a less chance to do that. Now, if you can hold it, you know, lengthwise to it, it's probably going to be your best option. But if you can't, if that's not an option, trying to hold the file at a diagonal and just being very, very careful and just kind of watching the profile of it if you can, that will help you with keeping that file straight. So, great question. Kurt Hill says, yeah, I'm converted to the ceramic scraper after using it on this build. So handy, especially for small adjustments and cleaning up glue and scratch building. I got to get me one. I know Shane, Mr. Daft Robo, excuse me, has been using them. I know James has it as well and stuff like that, and I've watched it on their streams. But man, I haven't pulled the trigger on it just yet, you know? I'm still kind of using my hobby knife for scraping and stuff, but I want to try the ceramic one. I definitely do. Let's see. Hasaki Art Handren says, wave option joints are great as well. I didn't know... Wait, did I know Wave had joint sets? I might have forgotten it. But anyway, Hendren, thank you for reminding me, buddy. Kurt Hill, those big flat file plates Joshua recommends are amazing for keeping items flat while filing. Yes, the filing plates. There's a few companies that make them, and I forget the name of the main one off the top of my head. Minashima? Minashima? I think that's what it is. They're great. Again, another thing that I want to purchase, but I still haven't pulled the trigger on it, unfortunately. But yeah, they are great. And some of them come in different, I guess, grits, for lack of a better term. You know, one side, you know, they'll have two sides. One side will be a little bit more aggressively toothed. The other side is a little bit finer toothed. So, yeah, I've had my eye on those for a long time. Minashima, thank you, James. No Zaku boy over there on Facebook. Appreciate that. But yeah, that's kind of the main company that makes them. There's some other companies, especially Chinese companies, that can that have those as well. You can get those on Taobao if you wanted to. Yeah, Minashima is probably going to be your most common one, at least on you know, places like Hobby Search, Hobby Link Japan, you know, the normal places, right? Evil Homer NZ, thanks. That helps a bunch. Thanks, Tim. You are welcome, man. You are welcome. Good luck. Let's see. Everybody loves James loves his Minashima flat file. Kurt Hill over there on YouTube says, yeah, called Minashima, the one Josh got. Yeah, cool. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, so you guys, now that we're caught up and now that my throat is thoroughly dry, cheers to you guys. God, getting over a cold sucks. Anyway, let's get to work, shall we? So let's get the eyes on here, right? So let's talk about notching, because I know Cyril Hottie in the chat wanted to know how do you get the same length of notches, right? Which is a great question. Which is a great question. And I have a few techniques while I'm trying to find my notching chisel here. Here we go. Excuse me. how do you get the length of the notches the same? Few ways of doing it, right? Few ways of doing it. The best ways that I find, at least for me, is to use a ruler and just measure off of the line that you're putting the notch on, or if it's floating, just measure the notch. Or, and this is a little bit of a, I think a little bit more tedious way of doing it, is to use some guide tape, like good old Dymo tape or Haiku scribing guide tape. I think that's the name of it. Both of those will give you really good results, right? And you just kind of put a piece down, and which will basically be your where your scribes are going, and then just put another piece across here at whatever length you want your notches to be, and then both of them will be exactly the same height at that point. So those are two ways of doing it. Now, once you get used to scribing and doing notches and things like that, then you can kind of cheat like I do, and I just do them kind of freehand. I just, what are you gonna do? But anyway, I digress. So let's take a look at this real quick, and let's kind of figure out where we want these notches to be. Okay. Now, I want some notches across this bottom line, and actually, let's get you guys zoomed in a little bit more so you can see this better. I want some notches. I want two notches vertically going up into this particular panel here, coming off of this line, right? So what we are going to do, what I like to do anyways, is to measure in from the corner of that line. Excuse me. And if we measure this is exactly 9 millimeters in width, this kind of box scribe here, and that's where that line is. So this line is 9 millimeters in width. So what I like to do, and my favorite chisel, is the .30. It just complements the 0.15 of the panel lines really well because it's doubled the width, right? So I like to use 0.3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over on that. Let's see, what's the width on this? It's probably 1.5. Yeah, 1.5. So 1.5 millimeters in from the corner. That's I think a good sweet spot for these two particular notches on this length of line. I think this will be a good aesthetic, a good look, right? So what we do, let's get the eyes down here. Now I'll put my little scribing tape right up onto that corner there, and that will be my area for this vertical notch, right? So then what we do is we just come back with the .30 and just go to work. Get the dust off of there. Am I on camera? Yes, we are. Sweet. Now for these, I like to go probably about, 2 millimeter. And the most important thing when you're scribing notches like this is to keep an eye on the top of the notch, because that is what's going to make all the difference. Because if that's not square, or if that's blown out, or if that's messy in any way, it'll be noticeable. It will. It'll be noticeable. So you need to take very, very, very particular care about keeping the top of that notch nice and square. Now I think we're good. So let's take off the tape here. We're going to transfer it to the other side. That looks really good. That looks really good. I'm happy with that. So we're going to take this over. We're going to place it right there in the same spot on the other side, right up against that panel line. Excuse me. And let's make sure we're on camera here. There we go. And do the same thing to the other side, right? And just like with panel lines, let the chisel do the work. Don't try to go at it, you know, on the first pass. Go light and then work your way down. That will give you a clean notch. All right, I think we're good there. So we're going to take this up. And we'll get super zoomed in here in just a second, because I know that's going to be, it's insanely tough, if not impossible, to see where those notches are right now on screen. So let me just clean this up here real quick. What I also need is the 0.15 to clear out the underlying panel line, because what's going to happen as you scribe in to the panel line to form the notch, there's going to be plastic buildup in that panel line. So we need to clear that out, because we want to avoid what's called ramping. And it's just kind of a terminology thing that I use to describe the thing. But what ramping is basically a buildup of material. And essentially what it does is it builds a ramp for your chisel. And when your chisel comes into contact with that material, it does have a tendency to ramp up and go outside of your desired panel line or chisel, which can then cause scarring on the surface, and you don't want that. So to avoid ramping, we need to consistently clean out the buildup on the panel line and also the notch, right? So, and you're going to have to kind of do this a few times just to get it nice and clean. But once you do, and as you take particular care, man, the results really just kind of speak for themselves. Super clean panel lines and super clean notches just make all the difference in the world when it comes to kind of selling the illusion of scale. And that's what we're ultimately trying to do, is sell the illusion of scale. So, excuse me. I think one last clean out of this panel line, and I think we're good to go. All right, so with that being said, let's try to get the rest out of there. Looking good. All right, so now, just for display purposes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this down and get some plastic dust in there so you guys can actually see, based off of the contrast of the white plastic dust, you can see how we did here. And there you go. Nice, clean notches. Nice, clean notches. And Hasaki Art over there on Facebook, he says, patience is important when it comes to scribing. I couldn't agree more. Patience is paramount, right? Daft Robo is here. What's up, Shane? Welcome. Shane and Courtney had an interesting live stream earlier. I came in at just the wrong time, but still it was fun, right? Still it was fun. But let's get super zoomed in here, and I'll show you the details in much more gory fashion. So 5x, and boom! And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. There are our notches. And as you can see, they're just free-handed. The length is just free-handed right now. But you gotta take into consideration I've been doing this for quite a long time. So, this right here, what notches do? What do they represent, right? So, notches, at least for me, represent some sort of representation of a hatch or latch or something like that, right? So, in my opinion, imagine if this particular armor panel, and keep in mind, the reason why we do panel lines like this is to designate pieces of armor, right? So you have to think that this is a separate piece of armor. This down here is a separate piece of armor. These two sides, here and here, are now separate, removable pieces of armor. Obviously they're not, but we give that illusion when we do panel lines like this, right? So this particular piece of armor, if they had to replace that or work on the mechanisms underneath, there has to be some sort of way to get at it, right? A hinge or something like that, like Asaki Handren had mentioned over on Facebook, or a latch or a locking mechanism or something like that, right? So that's what notches ultimately represent, at least to me. And when I look at really, really detailed line art, like your Mecha art, or your, what is it? Your, the archives, the master archives. When I look at really, really detailed line art like that, that has those notches and things of that nature, that's what I see particularly. Those technical details that make it look like a mechanical, real-life device. Right? So that's what notches represent. So you can kind of imagine maybe there's a hinge right here, you know, on the backside of this particular piece of armor. Or maybe these two notches represent the hinge. Who knows, right? But what these could be are two locking mechanisms. These are two latches that, you know, a maintenance person would come in, pop those latches, and then boom, that particular piece of armor is released so that they can work on the mechanisms behind that, the hydraulics or pistons or electrical gear or whatever, right? So that's why notches to me are really, really important to sell that illusion of scale. That is important. So, and the other thing is, and this is kind of more of a recent opinion, and I guess kind of, I don't know, evolution to my own particular style, is that I've actually kind of taken the details that I do down to a smaller scale. And what that kind of does is it helps to bring that illusion of scale a little bit more to the forefront. That's why I use 144 style decals. That's why I use a 0.3 millimeter instead of like a 1 millimeter that I kind of used to do. I will sometimes do 0.5 millimeter, but I try not to. The 0.3 millimeter for me, man, for these vertical perpendicular notches is just the, in my opinion, it's the best look. You do you. I'm not going to tell you how to do you. But it does give that illusion of scale. Keep in mind, this is like a 15 to 18 meter high robot, right? So these latches and panel locks and stuff like that, they're going to be pretty damn small because these need to be kind of manageable human size type of things, right? If you guys have seen the high-res pictures that I was lucky enough to take of the 1-to-1 scale Gundam in Japan, and they're all on Facebook, they're all on chadamecha.com. You can go and take a look at them in high resolution. You will see, and I kind of wanted to detail the kind of notches and you know, panel locks and stuff like that. You can see, I mean, they're maybe this big, right? They're not huge. So when you're talking you know, a full millimeter for a notch, I mean, you're talking what, you times that by 100, that's now what, 100 millimeters wide, and it's like I don't know, It's pretty big. Let's put it that way. I don't know. I am a heathen imperial measurement user. We covered the metric system in elementary school. I don't know. It's been a long time. Anyway, I digress. It just doesn't look great when trying to sell the illusion of scale. Just saying. Food for thought. Food for thought. All right, let's get back to it, right? Now, speaking of the 0.5, right? We're gonna pull the 0.5 out here because I do want to kind of work with the 0.5 here, and I just realized you guys are still in super zoom, so you can't see shit right now. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get back to 1x. Come on. There we go. And then let's get rid of that ugly box. Bada boom, bada bing. There we are. Now we're cooking. Evil Homer NZ, 10 centimeters. Thank you, man. I don't know. Like I said, I use Imperial. I don't know these things. It's been a long time since I've used converted in the metric system. I'm just used to millimeters with working with these things at this point. But thank you for the hookup. Appreciate that. Imperial scum. You got it, Astrea Kai. What's going on? Jay Lynch says you can see the level of scale of the ground Gundam in 8th MS team when they are doing maintenance to their Gundam in the desert. Yes, and the one thing that I really love about 8th MS team is that they show you little glimpses of the maintenance bays like that are on Earth, not necessarily maintenance hangars in like a carrier, like a space carrier or whatever. So I really like that, and that really does speak to kind of the mechanisms and mechanical workings and stuff like that. That's the stuff that just kind of jazzes me up, and I'm like, oh, I want to see more of that, right? So yeah, I love the 8th MS team for that reason alone. Well, not alone, but one of the many reasons. Anyway, we're going to put that leg off to the side. We're going to work on this leg because this one is actually done. This was the first one that we worked on. Now, excuse me. Looking at the Master Archives books and some of the other panel line designs from really, really good, panel line, folks, your Naokis and, your Studio Rihitos on Instagram and stuff like that, and some of your other, Japanese builders. What you'll notice is that they have started to put notches like in corners and stuff, and that's a really good aesthetic look, I think, right? Because that also represents latches and panel locks and stuff like that that are easily accessible on corners. So we're going to do a little bit of that on the front of the leg here as well, because like I said, I do like that look. So we're going to incorporate that here in just a second. Ruslan wants to know, 8th MS team and 0083 were awesome for getting behind the scenes glimpses. Yes, I totally agree. Forgotten String Z, Tim, wants to know, Tim, what is your favorite Gundam series? Ooh. I'd probably have to say Thunderbolt by like this much. Yeah, I'd have to say Thunderbolt. Just because it doesn't have, your kind of normal Gundam tropes like, a magic kid that's the chosen one to, save the universe or whatever in a magical flying robot. No, it has, a cool asshole pilot that's a badass that goes out and kills people. E.O. Fleming. My favorite pilot, by the way. So yeah, like I really like the kind of gritty, more in your face of Thunderbolt. I do. Now, don't get me wrong. The normal Gundam tropes are classic, and I don't mind them. this was a departure from that, which I really, really liked. So, yeah, Thunderbolt is probably my favorite. Gundam Unicorn is probably my second favorite, just by a little bit. Simply because of the initial fight scene between the Jagans and the Kshatriya. That one single fight sequence between the Stark Jagan and the Kshatriya, I think, is probably the quintessential mecha fight in all of the Gundam series. I think that particular fight was just superb. Yeah. And I want to know more about that Jagan pilot. He just seemed like a badass. Just the way he piloted, he seemed like a badass. Because he went straight for the Kshatriya too, man. And he knew she had, she had the bits, or, the little, God, I can't remember what they're called right now off the top of my head, but he knew that he was outmatched. He popped that, that beam saber, and he went straight for her, like, aggressively. That's badass, man. That's balls. That's balls. I want to know more about that guy. I want an entire damn series about that guy. Yeah. It's just my opinion. Cheers. Funnels. Thank you, HR148. Appreciate that. Thank you for the assist. Funnels. He knew she had the funnels. He didn't care. He went straight for her. With that beam saber, he was like, come on, motherfucker. So badass. I like 8th MS Team, like I said, 0083. Those are two classics. I think those are kind of tied for third. The fight between, or the introduction of the Goof Custom was just amazing. But then 0083 with, the GM Custom, the Power GMs, those are all great too. Justin, what's up, buddy? Justin's is in the house. He says, what's up, Grump? What's up, boo-boo? Anyway, let's get the eyes back on. Let's get this notching done here, shall we? And then after we do these notches, I'm going to show you how to do some perimeter scribing. That's fun too. Okay, so what we're going to do is same kind of thing, but let's get a little piece of Dymo here, little Dymo tape, and we're going to try our best to recycle. Ooh, shit! It jumped on me. Where'd it go? There it is. Jumping Dymo tape, everybody. So, what we're going to do? Try to recycle your Dymo tape. Good for the environment. It's good for your wallet too. Just makes sense all around. Anyway, we're going to put this little piece of Dymo tape down here, and then we're going to use that as our scribing guide for this particular notch. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to scribe a parallel notch in here, right? And we're just going to, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to raise that up off the corner. I think we're going to make this a little bit more interesting here, and I think we're going to make that into kind of a semi-floating notch. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. But you know what? To do that, let's get another little piece of Dymo tape here, and let's keep ourselves accurate. Ooh, boy. Accuracy is key. Precision is paramount. Because these things are precision-made platforms of war. They relish the precision, right? They relish it. So we're gonna keep in line with that. We're just going to pop a little piece of Dymo tape there, just kind of in a nice little L, just to give us some breathing room for this thing. And now we're gonna get to work here. Am I on screen? Yes, I am. Cool. All right. Again, 0.5. There we go. 0.5 millimeter. We're gonna go. We're gonna do a semi-floating scribe here. A little semi-floating notch. And I'll tell you why it's a semi-floating notch in just a minute. Once I get this thing established here. We're gonna go pretty long with this thing. Probably about 3.5, 4 millimeter. And I think this is going to be a pretty damn cool look. So we'll get the knee out of the way there. Now, with this, since it's kind of semi-floating, you do have to be concerned about both ends. Because both ends absolutely need to be nice and square and nice and clean, not blown out, anything like that. That is absolutely crucial. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take this little guy off there, and now we're going to really finely clean up our notch ends here. My head in the way? Hope not. And we want to get this down to about the same level as your as the parallel panel line that we're scribing against here, because that will help kind of sell this look. Okay, and I think we're good there. All right, so let's pop this little guy right here as well. I'm just gonna stick him. Whoa, and he doesn't want to stick. Nope. Anyway, he doesn't want to stick. That's fine. Not a big deal. So, let's get a little toothbrush action going on there. And let's take a look at this and make sure that the actual notch is level inside. And I see that the sides are a little bit higher than the middle, and that's normal. And that happens because you're scribing across it in both directions. That middle is going to see a double the amount of material taken than your edges. So we want to pay a little bit more particular. Ooh, that's fucking sexy right there. I like that. Y'all can't see that right now, and I know that, but let's get some sanding dust in this guy, and I think you guys are gonna like this because I really like this look. Clean that off there. And so there she is right there. All right, let's get super zoomed in after we kind of look at that there. So basically the reason why it's a semi-floating notch is because it's not right in the corner. It's adjusted up just a little bit, just a hair. So it's floating kind of on the panel line, right? It's away from the corner. That's why it's semi-floating. So I think that's looking good. Let's get you guys zoomed in here, right? Let's see, where's the good old super zoom? There she is. All right, and boom, 5x. There it is. Look at that. That's sexy right there. I so like that. I'm glad I did that. CM Ben, 41 people watching. There should be at least 20 likes. Man, that's not what it's all about, brother. But thank you for your vote of confidence. I appreciate that. Actually, across all the platforms, there's almost 70 people watching. So shout out to everybody that's out there as well. But like you can see, I like that look. That's a sexy look. It's a damn sexy look. Now we do the same thing on the exact other side, And there you have two semi-floating notches that represent a secure latch for this main front armor unit. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Sexy. It's damn sexy. It's damn sexy. All right, let's tackle that. Let's get to, excuse me. Let's get to working on that, shall we? We do need a new piece of Dymo because that other one just does not want to cooperate at this point. And let's get you out of Super Zoom so you can see what the hell I'm doing, right? Let's go back to 1x. Let's get rid of the box. Bada boom. Bada bing. That's all she wrote. Nice. Okay, so let's get this little guy right here, and we're gonna just cut us a piece of Dymo right, just like that. What the hell are you doing? Get off me, damn Dymo! All right, so we're gonna pop the back here, and we're gonna put that little guy down there. We're gonna peel this little guy off there, and we're going to put our eyes down. Put this right back on that corresponding panel line right on the other side here, and we're going to make sure that this is lined up perfectly, because doing the first one again, like I said, is easy. Matching it, that's tough. That's tough. Richard Everett. Ooh, yes. Thank you, Richard Everett. Y'all. Borderlands 3. What? Oh, I watched that today. I'm excited. I'm excited for Borderlands 3. It looks amazing. I'm a big Borderlands guy, you guys. I have all of them except for the Telltale Games one. I'm not a big fan of that. I tried their Walking Dead game, and I'm just like, no, this isn't for me. Too much exposition, right? A little too much expedition for me. But yes, Borderlands. Oh, can't wait for that. Super hyped. If you guys didn't watch the Gearbox live stream today at PAX, where they announced it, they had some hilarious technical difficulties. I felt bad for them too, to be honest with you. They tried to play the trailers for these, like the videos and stuff, like, I don't know, like half a dozen times, and it kept stuttering. The first one, the first video that they played for the revamp of 1 and 2, and then the pre-sequel, that crashed like 6 times on them. I felt really bad, but it was still funny as shit. So, you know, it is what it is. Okay. So again, make sure that the ends are going to be the main focus, because that is the crucial part of notches, are the ends of the notches. This making sure that they are nice and square. Okay. Let's get this little guy off of there. Go away, little guy. All right. And then we'll flip this guy around, go at it from the other side. And again, make sure that the notch itself, the surface of the notch, the inner surface, is nice and level. Because if it's not, you'll be able to see it. And when you go to panel line this guy with your panel lining fluid of choice, it will show the high points, right? So keep that in mind. All right, so let's clean this up one last time here. Make sure the level, the bottom level of the notch in particular, is at the same height level as your panel line. Because if it's not, your panel lining fluid will flow into the panel line and it won't stay in the notch. And then at that point, what's the point, right? Just saying. Anyway. Alright, so this is looking pretty damn good. Just need a little fine tuning just to level the bottom out a little bit, just at the ends here. Nothing crazy. Now I hear that it's nice and smooth. Yeah. Alright, so that's good. That's where I'm stopping. I'm not going to do any more. You got to know when to stop. You don't want to eat through this thing. Because you can definitely eat right through the plastic. You can chisel right through it. You don't want that. That's not a good look. You want there to be meat on the bones. Okay. And there she is. There she is. That's a good look. Let's get zoomed in. Super zoom. Get the box. Center this bad boy up in the box. 5x. Ka-chow. Look at that. Sexy. That's sexy. It's pretty good. I like it. It's spicy. And as you guys can see, the length is pretty damned accurate. I think the one on the left is a little shorter though, so I might have to go back and even that out a little bit, just a hair. At this level of magnification, you're probably looking at maybe 0.2 of a millimeter in height difference. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that looks good. I think that semi-floating notch is just definitely the way to go for this front panel of this leg here. I think it looks really good. Really good. Yeah. So there we go. Happy with it. Happy, happy, happy. Spider2K2 says the one on the right seems more skinnier than the left. You might be right. Yeah. But again, at this level of magnification, I mean, you're almost talking macro at this point. Looking at it from where I am, I'm comfortable with it. The height, or the length of it, I think definitely needs to be lengthened just a little bit, hair. But the width of it, I'm pretty happy with, actually. Yeah. So there you go. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. Justin says, "Oh geez, Tim, there's like 0.5 millimeter of difference there. You are never going to win GBWC with that." Yeah. Actually, it's probably less than 0.5 millimeter, dude. But I appreciate you. Joe Tools over there on Twitch says, "Great job, very impressive." Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that, buddy. Very nice of you to say. Let's see. Chris R says, "Just means it's battle damage, Tim." Get out of here, Chris. Battle damage. You know I don't do that shit. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, everybody was talking the Borderlands while I was doing this, right? Yeah. Everybody's excited for Borderlands 3 and then talking about the Telltale games and all that. Justin says, all right, I'm off here. I've been up since 5 a.m. And you got to get up early again tomorrow, don't you? Or you got the day off tomorrow, dude? Your boy needs sleeps. I'll get at you tomorrow. Night, have fun. Cool. Take care, Jay. Yeah. Real excited. Really excited about Borderlands 3, man. Got some nice, cool new villains. It looks like you're gonna go to different worlds. Nope, ended up with tomorrow off. 4-day weekend, you lucky bastard. Look at you. Have fun, brother. I'll talk to you tomorrow. But, yeah, it looks like you're going to different worlds. Like, they have, like, a full-on cityscape. Very exciting. They also have like a swampy, wooded area with crazy-looking xenomorph dinosaurs. I love it. They've got guns with legs, you guys. How cute is that? Like, come on. When I saw that in the trailer today, the little gun with the two little miniature legs just walking around shooting. I mean, that's all it really took. I mean, if it was just that, if that's all they had in the trailer for Borderlands 3, I would have been sold. I would have been like, yeah, this is amazing. I want guns with legs to walk around and kill people. I think it was fucking cool. But that's just me. All right, so let's switch gears from the notches. We talked about notches for a good amount here. Let's talk about scribing jigs, right? Now, if you guys have watched me before, you know that I love to make scribing jigs because it makes scribing so much easier, right? On the side here with these guys, you can see most of the dust is out of the panel line and everything, but we made this little plug here, this little scribing jig to scribe a nice line around the power cable opening, right? Now on the high mobility armor, you got this other corresponding opening for the other end of the power cable. So like I did with the first one. Excuse me. Damn, dude, that's not cool. Shit. Sorry about that, you guys. Anyway, where are my manners? I declare. Anyway, so I made another scribing jig, same style. Used 1mm plate in this case, 0.5mm plate for the plug that goes actually into the hole, and that just snaps kind of in there really nice and secure. It's not moving vertical, it's not moving horizontal, diagonal, any of that, right? So it's nice and solid in there. And then you can take your chisel, scribe all around that, pop that out, and there you have a nice, super clean, very, very tight panel line up against that power cable hole there, right? So that, above all else, shows you the importance and shows you the value of making scribing jigs, right? But, they come in all sorts of flavors and sizes, right? You've got the kind of plug version for, scribing these types of holes. You've got, let's see, where's the one for the Jesta? Here's this one. This is a T-shaped one. So this was for one of the booster, the back calf on the Jesta, where it had the booster and everything. Basically, this is the cowl or cover of that booster, and this is the panel line that I scribed into it, right? And this little catch here down at the bottom caught on the little corner, and then that's where I would scribe my panel line. Now, the reason why I made it as a T-style scribing jig, so I could flip it on the other side and have a mirrored version of that same panel line. So that, again, it's just a little bit of plastic sheet, a little bit of plastic strip glued right down the middle of that, and you've got your panel line. This is super easy. Now, mind you, building and making these takes a lot longer than actually scribing the line. But this is the big one. Your precision is going to be so much higher with using panel or scribing jigs, and also the time savings that you're going to gain from not having to lay down tape and try to make sure that they're perfectly matched. That's just, you're going to save so much time, right? So making a scribing jig, even though it does take longer than the final scribing process, is going to save you so much time in the long run, not having to worry with that tape. Now, another version, which I make a lot, and where's the one I was using earlier? Ah, here it is. It's just an L-shaped scribing jig, right? So what I did was with this one, and you can kind of see the plastic dust here, just put that on the edge there, and since this is a little curved, you can actually kind of push that in, and you kind of gain that curve, and then you can scribe right around that, and you can just take this down, pop it there, scribe, 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 right up here, same thing, you get the same edge scribing with all of your edges, and it's perfectly matched at that point. Now, there are going to be some points like this corner here where you're going to have to manually make those connect. Then you use a little bit of Dymo tape and you're good to go, right? And then what happens is this thing now has this awesome kind of edge scribing all the way around this high mobility armor, all the way around, and now you can paint that very easily a different color and make that pop, make that edge super, super cool, right? So if you wanted to paint this red or orange like it is right now, you could tape this off very easily with masking tape now, and then come back, paint that white or yellow or blue or whatever contrasting color that you would want it to, right? So that right there shows you the importance of a good scribing jig, and I've got a ton of them too, in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. And you never want to throw them away because you can use them at a later date for another project, right? Even the one, where did that go? I lost it. The one that I used on the Jesta, even though that's particularly forms to the unique Jesta piece, who says I'm not going to build another Jesta down the line, right? So, making scribing jigs, simple little jigs like that are super, super important, you guys. So, keep that in mind. They come in very handy, right? So, oh my. Okay. You guys, it's going to be about that time. I know. Probably don't want this to stop, but it must. We must draw this to a close, right? We must draw this to a close. Eris385, anyone else wondering about the Gundam x Hello Kitty collab that was announced today? I saw that floating around on Facebook and I didn't know what that was. Anyway. Chris R., this is my last weekend off. I go into training on the 12th for my new position. Nice. Congratulations, Chris. Julio Ponte, a friend of mine, said they look like Handsome Jack's kids. Oh, the two new villains. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Chris R has a question though. On a piece of armor that has another armor piece molded into it, will you scribe the outline to show separation? Ooh, good. Yes. Let me show you something real quick what I would do. And it has to do with the high mobility armor, right? So this panel right here, right? Perfect example. So yes, what I would do is scribe around this to show the panel separation. Same thing with this big hump here. This is all molded in one piece. Outline scribe that, and then when you go to paint and prime this thing, and then when you go to do your panel lining fluid, that'll seep into those and basically simulate a nice dark shadow in there to kind of sell that illusion of the pieces being separate. So yes, I would absolutely, in cases like that, outline scribe that, and that'll give you a nice pseudo kind of shadow there at the end when you go to paint and panel line. So great question, Chris. Great question. Julio Ponte says, I tried tried scribing freehand for the first time, and I think I ganked it. Yeah, don't do freehand. Don't do freehand unless it's like simple, super tiny notches. Panel lines, don't ever do that. I don't ever do that. Don't ever try just freehanding it, because you'll never get the same accuracy as you would with a guide tape or your scribing jigs or something like that. Never do that. That is just a recipe for disaster, right? Chris R says, how would you do one that is on a curve? Great question. Curves are always tough. So with Dymo tape, right? You get this big thick, piece of tape, right? That's about 9.5 millimeters wide. What I do is trim it down to a little bit more manageable pieces, like 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter max, and then this will grab onto a curved surface much better because there's there's less surface area for the tape. So a higher percentage of the tape will grab on to the surface based on the smaller size. If you try to adhere the bigger piece, it's basically gonna kind of go like this and just wibble wobble on the sides. No good, no bueno. Smaller piece will grab onto that curve and hug it a lot better. So that's what I would do. So yeah, cut down the guide tape to more manageable strips. That'll work. Julio Ponte says, I'm gonna fill and sand. Hopefully it'll cover. Dude, get you some of this. It'll fill it like magic. I promise you. Perfectly fill it. You'll never see it, and you'll never know it was there after you primed and painted it. Trust me. So, all right, you guys, great stream, good one tonight. Lots of energy, lots of fun. You guys are good tonight, man. You guys were good tonight. Lots of people watching too. So thank you for that, right? Thank you to Joel, Mr. True Gumpler, for the lead-in. Appreciate that. So we're gonna be back tomorrow night, just here on YouTube. So for everybody else watching on Twitch and Facebook, come back tomorrow night. New episode of Mechanism, our group build show with some awesome people. We're gonna be doing that same time tomorrow night, and then we'll catch back up on the solo stream here on Monday of next week. And we'll probably go Monday, Wednesday, Friday like normal. Next Thursday, I'm going to do kind of a duo stream on Instagram with Mr. Old School Gumpla George, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to have a really good conversation with that. So come back for all that, man. It's going to be a good time regardless, right? So with that being said, tonight, you guys, if you still want one of these cool Titans Test Team shirts, long sleeves and short sleeves, go hit up chadamecha.com. There's a store button up at the top that'll transport you to the store where you can find shirts, hats, and bags and all sorts of other cool stuff, right? If you're interested in any of the tools that we've worked with here tonight and the materials and stuff like that, there's an Amazon link just below that I've sourced a bunch of stuff out here, just below on Twitch and on YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, sourced everything out. Excuse me. And it's basically all the stuff that I use, right? So go hit that up and get what you need on there. And as always, if you need kits or paints or decals or other cool accessories, these guys right down here, these are my boys. Adam and those guys at USA Gundam Store. They'll be happy to hook you up. They're a great bunch. So, with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. You guys are awesome. Man, look at that. There's still like 60 people watching at this point, even at the very end. So, kudos to you all. God. Hopefully by next Monday I'll be over this cold completely and I won't be so raspy and all that. But, hey, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Have a wonderful beginning to your Friday. I will see you tomorrow night on Mechanism. And then we'll see you guys next week. All right? Go build something cool. And be safe out there, you guys. All right? Take care. See you guys.